Okay, so we have taken a tour of the dashboard and gone through all of these different things up here on this top menu. So now we're going to dive into right here on this drop down menu, and we're going to talk a little bit about some account settings and all these different settings that you can see here, as well as what all of these down here do. Let's go ahead and jump to the profile section, which is basically just your basic account information. It's your name, your email, and your login information. And you can also decide whether you want or not to subscribe to the Mailerlite newsletter. I am already subscribed to this on my other account, and they do send some really helpful things that can help better your email marketing and all kinds of things, better understand their systems. So I do suggest going ahead and subscribing to their newsletter, especially if you are new and just starting out, because they do share some really cool tips. All right. Then you go on to users. This is another really cool feature of MailerLite is that they let you include different users that can access this account. So let's say that you are an author and you are co-authoring a book or a series with somebody else. You can add a new user onto your account that will allow your co-author to gain access to your newsletter creation process. And you can even change the different types here. So you would just insert their email address here, and then you can decide what kind of access you would like them to be able to do. So if this was a co-author, you'd probably want them to be able to create and send newsletters to your list for that specific series. So in that case, you might want to go ahead and add them as a manager, meaning that they have full access, but they wouldn't be able to change any of your account settings or anything like that. They wouldn't be able to deal with billing, but they would be able to access and change all of the stuff that you have over here so they could mail you guys' mailing list. Another great reason for this is maybe you have a assistant, you have a virtual assistant that helps you with your author business. You can assign them one of these levels here, and they will be able to get on here and help you with your email marketing. So it's a really cool way to be able to have people come into your account and do different things without having to send them your login information. And then we move on to account settings. And this is kind of all of the information that you really gave them when you're signing up about your company profile here. And then there's a few different options um, in the other tabs here. So this is where you would update your URL or your street address. And then at the very bottom, you can decide whether or not you want the MailerLite logos to show up inside of your email or landing pages if you are on a paid plan. On their free forever plan, it is a requirement to share that, which is not a big deal. And it usually doesn't put people off or anything like that. So I don't really mind having the MailerLite logo on my um, landing pages and sign up forms and all of that. There's nothing much over here to change inside of subscriber management. I always just leave that just how it is and let MailerLite do manage the subscribers how they normally do. I don't really mess with those settings much, but you might want to connect your account to Google Analytics, which you can change how this tracking and codes and stuff like that if you want it to hook up to your analytics account so that you can see stats on your analytics board. I usually don't change anything here in subscriber management. I just usually leave that exactly how MailerLite has it, um, and let them do what they do best and manage the subscribers. The same thing goes over here with Google Analytics. This isn't where you actually connect your MailerLite to your Google Analytics. This is where you would go in and kind of change and customize different like technical aspects and code and stuff like that. I definitely don't mess with this at all. Again, I just leave it how it's supposed to be here. You'll be able to connect your MailerLite to your Google Analytics account if you wanted to, but that's just not where this happens. Again, I suggest leaving authentication alone, and then you can go to subscribe settings here. And this is where you can say, do you want a double opt-in for APIs and integrations? So if somebody signs up via one of your integrations or API, do you want MailerLite to send them a confirmation email where they would have to opt in twice to double check that they want to be on here? If so, you can turn this on and customize your opt-in email here. I always just leave that off because I feel that it can get a little frivolous if you are having to opt in twice. That's just my opinion. So if you wanted to turn that on, you can definitely do that here. And then we go down here to the unsubscribe settings. So this is how you are going to customize your unsubscribe page. So when they would click the unsubscribe button at the very bottom of one of your emails, they would be taken to this form here where it's going to say, are you sure you really want to unsubscribe? And they'll be able to click yes or no. You can customize this however you want when you open this little edit button here, and it will take you to the customization screen where you can add in different text or different words. And you can also change the unsubscribe settings here. So, for instance, do you want to unsubscribe them? If they click yes, would you want to unsubscribe them from all of your groups, which is recommended, or only unsubscribe them from part of it? And then they would be able to choose which groups they want to be unsubscribed from. On the second screen here, you'll see where you can change the design. So you can change the different colors. You can put a background image. You can add some different settings here. So change your font and all of those things. Change what your buttons look like. What font do you want it? How big do you want it? What color do you want them to be? And then if you click this area here, again, you would be able to type anything you want to type here saying, sorry to see you go, or whatever message you would want to share with somebody who is deciding to unsubscribe from your newsletter. As you can see here, you can toggle between the different versions of this. So this is the unsubscribe page. And then once they clicked yes, you can also customize the confirmation page where it's going to say, okay, you have successfully unsubscribed. Can you tell me why? Even if they do not fill this out here, they have already unsubscribed. But sometimes having this information here can give you a little insight of to why you're getting people unsubscribing from your newsletter. All right, and going back, if we open up this menu again, the next section on here is email notifications. This is where you can go in and change how you want to be notified about your account. So you can choose to be notified one by one. So that means anytime somebody subscribes or unsubscribes, you can choose to have an email sent to you, or you can choose to have a daily summary sent to you as well. So at the end of every single day, you would get an email saying this many people subscribed and this many people unsubscribed. This is completely optional. You do not even have to have a summary sent to you. But some people enjoy getting those little notifications or like to see how it's going so that they can track it down for some reason. You can also choose activity notifications to be set up as well as system notifications. So, for instance, this is all about billing, which you should probably be signed up just in case anything ever goes wrong. You are notified. Now, let's talk about integration. So, if you don't know what an integration is, basically, that is when MailerLite is able to talk or communicate with another service. Say you have a sales page on your website where you are offering signed books and you are using WooCommerce as the plugin in order to sell those books on your website, then you can set up MailerLite to communicate with WooCommerce. That way, that when somebody purchases something using your website and this WooCommerce plugin, that email information can be sent over to your MailerLite account. Therefore, they would be able to sign up for your newsletter through purchasing a book on your website. There are a lot of different integrations that MailerLite offers. Some of them are really fun, like this Instagram integration here, where you can connect this to your Instagram account and be able to embed your Instagram posts into a MailerLite newsletter, which could be pretty fun. You could play around with that if you wanted to. And there are some other ones over here, like BookFunnel, which as authors, if you use BookFunnel, which to deliver ebooks and things like that to your readers, then you can integrate that with your MailerLite account. Another thing that they have here is Thrive Leads. So, for instance, I use Thrive Themes to build all of my websites. I love Thrive Themes, and Thrive Leads I also use as well to collect emails on my websites. So, Thrive Leads gives you a bunch of different ways to collect emails and is a bit more customizable in that aspect and allows you to customize your lead generation more so than just an embedded or pop-up form from MailerLite. And so I love that they have this integration here. I use this one a lot because then I can create my opt-in forms through Thrive Leads, but then since it is integrated with my MailerLite account, then whatever emails I get signed up through those forms are automatically put into where they belong in my MailerLite account. There's also things like Gleam, which is good for hosting giveaways, and all of these different ones down here. I can't tell you about all of them because I don't use them all, but it would be a good thing for you to come through here and scroll through and see if there's any of these that you use or have wanted to use so that you can set up an integration for the two of them to be able to communicate and pass information to each other. And then we move on to templates. I'm not going to create a template in this tutorial because we are going to do that together in a new lesson because it's going to be completely separate than the goal of this lesson here. But this is where you'll be able to create your templates as well as edit them when the time comes. And then you have access to the file manager here, which is where you can upload photos or anything like that, upload files, and then be able to insert them into your newsletter, which we will get into more when it comes to building our campaigns later on. And then, of course, we have the switch account and the change language. So if you are not an English speaker, you can change the language of the dashboard. You can log out here. But this switch account would be if you are somebody who is managing multiple accounts, obviously. So for me, I have my Thriving Scribes account here, and then I've got my author account here. And so it's easy if you are managing two, you can click switch account, and then you can jump between the two to be able to manage them easier without having to log in and out back and forth and over again, and because that becomes really tedious. And that covers all of that menu. And now we are able to get into the fun stuff. In the next lesson, we're going to talk all about starting to build your list. So I'll see you there.